Dr. Scott and Dr. Lester.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. We greatly appreciate this opportunity to share this information with you. We've pretty much got a really short presentation. I think I've got this thing down to about 16 slides for you today, and we're only going to focus on our booster clubs. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. I'm going to ask my colleague, Dr. Luster, if there appears to be a question in the chat that would be beneficial to the entire group to stop me, and I'll stop at that point and answer that question. So, and really, it's the same information that we've covered year in and year out. It doesn't change at all as it relates to this particular policy. So just to give you some information where we're located, we're at the board on central office on the coast side, room 164. That's our website, and I'm going to refer you to that website later in this presentation because there are a number of resources that you will be able to find on that page that may be useful to you. And so this particular presentation really relates to policy implications for 7007, which is school support organizations. By definition, the catch-all for our, whether it's a booster club or parent organization, any organization, parent group that collects or receives money, materials, property, or securities from students, by that definition, that particular organization or group is considered a school support organization, and that is the state of Tennessee's definition under the School Support Organization Financial Accountability Act. And so whether it's a pie or what have you, or whatever you want to call it, if it collects any type of money through fundraisers, through membership dues, things of that nature, it is considered by definition from the state of Tennessee a school support organization. So how do we define booster clubs? It's really just an organized group of volunteer parents, community members, and also staff can be involved in this particular process to provide fundraising and other services that will support some type of club. That could be a debate club, a sports team, band, or some other entity. Or it could be a situation where it's an athletic booster club where it supports all of the athletic programs at the school. So very simple, straightforward process. If it is a booster club and it's the first year of existence for this particular booster club, these are the documents that are required. You have to provide that it is a current Tennessee nonprofit corporation, have to have your own goals or objectives. You have to complete the cooperative agreement, but also if it's a charitable foundation, and a charitable foundation is considered a group that has what we call a 501c3 status, and that means that that particular group has gone through the process of obtaining an EIN number, a 501c3 status number, and they are exempt from the state of Tennessee taxes. And that's really the main difference between a charitable foundation and a Tennessee Nonprofit Corporation. Tennessee Nonprofit Corporation is just really an organization that is in existence to serve the community, or to serve an education capacity in some way, shape, or form. And that's really what that organization means. So if it's a first year booster club, you can go through that process through the Tennessee Department of Revenue Services, and it will cost you $0 to apply. And so fairly straightforward, nothing spectacular. Again, proof of current Tennessee nonprofit corporation or a charitable foundation. You have to have goals and objectives, and also complete the cooperative agreement. Any questions or anything related to this particular documentation that's needed, if it's a first-year booster club.
No hands raised and nothing in the chat just yet, Dr. Scott.
Thank you. So we'll move forward. So this is an example of a Tennessee nonprofit corporation. This is something that you go online, you get this information, and you see that it approves you as an official charter. And that's just that it's a first-year organization. And then every year after, you file an annual report, which we'll talk about here in a second. This is the charitable foundation form. As you can see at the top, this is good through June 30th of 2023. The state used to issue these annually, but I think probably 5 years ago, they decided to go on a 5-year basis where they would, all you would have to do is to renew every 5 years through their process. Once you renewed every 5 years, they would make this paperwork good for you for 5 years. So this one, if you're a nonprofit charitable foundation, you will have this particular paperwork from the state of Tennessee. And all it does is that when you go in to purchase whatever goods or services you're going to purchase, they ask for this particular form, you fill it out with your information, and then you're exempt from any sales tax within the state of Tennessee. So I mentioned to you the annual report a little bit earlier, and this is what an annual report is. So after you go through the Tennessee Nonprofit Corporation process, which is an online process, very straightforward. The second year that you're in existence, you will do an annual report, and that is a $10 fee. And so you'll go back to the same website. There's a link there that will take you to do your annual report, and you'll go through that particular information, and this is what you'll receive after you pay your $10 fee. And it's a downloadable form, or you can have them mail you a copy of your annual report. So let's move to booster clubs who are in existence for their second year and beyond. Same information, proof of Tennessee Nonprofit Corporation or charitable foundation status, goals, objectives, the cooperative agreement. The difference here is that we need a statement of your revenues and disbursements from the previous school year. So when you started on July 1 of the last school year, what was your balance at that point? And then what expenses, what revenues that you had throughout that entire year, ending June 30th of the next fiscal year. So our school year runs July 1 to June 30th. So the beginning balance at July 1 and the ending balance June 30th is what you would put on your particular form. I need a copy of your minutes, not from the entire year, but from your first meeting, mid-year, and the last meeting. So just 3 examples of 3 actual minutes. And all your minutes are just a reflection of what you discussed in your meetings with the group. Here's an example of that form. We talked about the annual report. This is embedded in the system. You can very easily download this report, or you can create it yourself. The biggest thing that we want to see is that whoever prepared it signs off on it, give us the date that it was completed, and upload that information into the system. Here's an example of meeting minutes, and all meeting minutes are time, location of the meeting, what occurred, what you decided, your treasurer's report, action items, and what were decided and what was decided on those particular action items, the time you adjourned, also who was present during that meeting. So meeting minutes are very simple. So you would simply upload those minutes to the system. Any questions about the documents or anything that I've covered thus far before we move to activities that we should not, school organizations should not be involved with?
No hands raised and no questions in the chat just yet.
Thank you. So for prohibitive activity, you cannot, as a staff member, or teacher or what have you with the district, you cannot serve as a treasurer, a bookkeeper, or you cannot sign off on checks. The board should consist, you can serve on the board, you just can't serve as a treasurer, and the majority of the board members can't be individuals from the school district or from a particular school. You cannot use the school or the school district sales tax exemption to purchase any items. And the key part here, all of the funds generated for the Booster Club must support whatever entity that it has indicated it would. So if it's a football booster, every dollar that you raise must be spent on supporting that particular sport. You can't spend it on something else. It has to be spent on that particular sport. And it has to be related to supporting the school district or that particular club. So one of the things that some organizations, booster clubs will do, will sell T-shirts. They'll go into enter into a contract with a vendor, promising that they will sell X number of shirts, and if they don't sell X number of shirts, they will make up the financial what is the word I'm looking for? The financial, help me, Luster, what word am I looking for?
Difference?
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
they'll look for the difference between what they were going to, what they actually raise versus what they actually owe the vendor. In that instance where a booster club falls short, the school is not responsible for that shortcoming or making up that difference. The actual booster club is responsible for that. So if you went into contract as a booster club, said, "Hey, we're gonna spend about $400. We guarantee you we're gonna spend $400 in purchasing shirts so we can get this particular discount," and you only spend, let's say, $300. So that booster club is responsible for making up the difference. And so also you have to maintain or operate a banking account that has an EIN number. And so you have to have your own EIN number. So every school has an EIN number, and all it is the employer identification number. It doesn't cost anything to get that particular EIN. You just simply go to the IRS website and type in EIN, and it'll take you through a process to get that EIN. Most banks will require a booster club to have an EIN before you can open up a booster club in the name of that particular club. And the last thing I'll share with you is that SSOs, booster clubs, parent organizations are prohibited from any activity until approved by the district. So everybody, every parent organization, every booster club has to be approved by the district. And that's a process where you'll go through our portal. You'll register if you haven't registered as whether you're the treasurer or the secretary, you're registered and you actually get access to the portal. And then you'll go in and do your application for your particular school. And I'll show you where you can access the portal at. So the approval timeframe for booster clubs, parent organizations, and any parent group has started July 1, will run through September 30th. And so you don't have to wait until September 30th to send your process through your booster club to be approved. Remember, the booster club cannot engage in any activity, meetings, selling of items at the concession stand or anything of that nature until they've been approved by the district. And here's our contact information. Again, I did want to share that with you. Does anyone have any questions for me before I take you to our website? Does anybody have any questions? All hearts and minds are clear?
We have a very quiet group still.
Yes.
Nothing in the chat, no hands raised.
Again, I tried to trim it down as much as possible. So there's one other thing I want to share with you before I let you go. And you can access our website from the district's webpage. Just go to Family and Community Engagement, and there's some resources on our website I do want you to see. Let's see. There we go. So to register your organization, if you click here, that'll take you to register your organization. That'll take you to the School Support Organization portal. You create your account, log into the system, or if you already have an account, you just log into the system and create a new application. And all this information is here, helpful resources, first year parent organizations, the very documents that we covered today are the requirements is here. There's also a virtual presentation now. It's more extended. It has the information in there related to parent organizations as well. So it is a virtual training. So if you want to go through that, also the types of parent organizations and information from a Parents Corner. If you just have to read the policy, here's your policy here as well that you have access to. And again, that is our website. You'll click on here and it'll take you to get involved and hit parent organizations, and it'll take you to that that particular page. Any questions before we sign off today? Any concerns, any issues? Well, you have our information. You know where we're located. I appreciate your time, and I'll let you get back to the rest of your day. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a great one.